right now. What is up, Talos of Tech fans and Apple Sheep everywhere? Sorry, just about 5 minutes late than usual. It's been a while since our regularly scheduled Tuesday live stream. Sorry for starting a little bit late. I actually had to fix something wrong with the game capture software that we use for live streaming with this, because the MacBook has been wiped clean because we finally got Boot Camp to work on the iMac Pro behind us. We got Windows 10 running on that now. We decided, hey, the MacBook's always out of storage. Let's wipe it clean. Let's start it fresh. So we actually, yesterday, completely reformatted the entire MacBook. So now we have all of our storage back, which is very, very nice to have. But that also meant that all the presets we had for our Elgato game capture software had not been made already. So now I have corrected them, and I think they're working fine. There were a couple glitches. There wasn't audio for some reason, but I figured out what was wrong. So now it's working. Anyway, which is better, Apple or Samsung? You're asking the wrong guy. Who's watching this on an iPhone? Not me, but I've got mine. I better make sure that's silent. And do not disturb is on. Now, I believe we should be looking and sounding fine. Let me check it real quick. Oh, that's still muted. Yeah, we're good. Okay. Can you do a review of the OnePlus 5T? I did my impressions on it. I don't think if I reviewed the phone itself, my thoughts would be much different. So I'm probably not going to review it myself. Let's sit a little higher there. There we go. That way you can see the cool desk, but it's mostly still me. That's why I don't look too short. Any games this live stream? No, I'm sorry. There's no gaming here. I'm sorry if the game capture software automatically tells you that this is a gaming stream. It is not, because we are on Talos of Tech. Subscribe to Talos of Gaming if that's what you want. But yeah. Yeah, it's working. Good. What is Project 2X? Well, first of all, here's your hint for the day. It's going along very smoothly and faster than we thought. In fact, at this point, it feels like it might be unveiled early. We might unveil it in about a week, honestly. We might honestly be 7 days away from 2X, which I'm very excited to reveal because I know I've been hyping it up stupid amount, but I do think it's worth it. I do think when you see the reveal, you'll understand why I hyped it up so much. But yeah, we're very, very close. Hello from Portugal. Thanks for watching from Dubai. Yes. Do you think the iMac Pro is worth it, or should we wait for the next one in 2018? I don't think there's going to be an iMac Pro redesign for a long time. I think they might improve the internals or maybe make it cheaper, but the design of it is going to stay the same. Apple has shown that they don't really care much about redesigning desktops because it's not a huge market, so aesthetics isn't super important. So they'll change the color, like add a space gray mode or whatever, but they're not going to work on a display that is the primary focus of removing bezels, which so many people ask for. So it's not going to be a major redesign. I think the people who are waiting for the modular Mac Pro to blow the iMac Pro away, and that's going to be the cool computer, and that's what you need to wait for, they're going to be disappointed. They're putting way too much hype on that thing. And they keep putting ideas that are not really things that Apple would do into that modular Mac Pro. Like, they keep saying everything will be customizable. I'm theorizing that very small parts of it are going to be customizable, and that if you really want a massive upgrade that is substantial, you're still going to have to buy a whole new rig. I don't think Apple's the kind of company that can design a machine that literally every part can be replaced. That's just not what Apple does. They might let you replace storage or GPU or RAM, but for the most part, whatever processor core you buy, I think you'll be stuck with that one for a while. If you had to choose between iMac Pro or MacBook Pro, which would you choose? Well, honestly, right now, I thought, like, if YouTube crashed and burned and I needed to still pay the bills and stuff, I would likely sell the MacBook. Obviously, the iMac Pro is a lot faster. This is a lot more mobile, and it's great because I can use it wherever I like, whereas moving that thing is a lot more difficult. So I guess I would take that for the processing power, plus it's just worth more. But that's... the product lines are just so different. You use a MacBook so much differently when you're considering battery life and smaller CPU and RAM and stuff. Compared to that, which I'll leave running overnight, like mining Bitcoin, like I don't care how hard that one gets used because it's a desktop computer and it can handle it. It never gets hot. The cooling system on it is genius. It's very quiet. I love it. Why aren't you at CES? Mostly because I'm working here. I want to make content for you guys here, and at CES I don't think I would get to make as much content. And what I have noticed with a lot of YouTubers who do go to CES, not that it doesn't look fun, it looks like a cool place to see new technologies and stuff, but at the same time, every time I see a CES report or a CES event people are watching, they're desperately trying to make it entertaining. I don't think that all of the best stuff of the year comes out at CES. I think most of that comes out at Apple keynotes, and because Apple keynotes are not in January and CES is mostly new technology companies introducing prototypes, not really new products. Every tech reviewer who goes there tries to desperately make it a bigger deal because they had to fly there. They had to bring all their equipment there. They had to buy tickets or they had to get in there. And now they're finding out that there might not be that much exciting stuff. So they have to overhype everything. I don't want to do that. I am perfectly content with reviewing all of the CES stuff from afar and just looking at it as it comes out and reporting on the interesting stuff. Because as of right now, there hasn't been giant new developments like Twitter was freaking out yesterday of this thing can open a wine bottle without taking the cork off. It's like, was that a problem we had? But now we're all reporting on it. Or now there's this new 8K television or this 150-inch TV that's using micro LED, but not really because it's enormous and no one's actually going to buy that because it's not actually for sale. So I don't know. It just seems kind of silly, in my opinion, that we have to go there and get excited for things that we can't buy, even though it's called the Consumer Electronics Show. But the stuff that is interesting, you'll see me talk about in its own video. Everyone keeps asking me about, I saw this morning, Project Lynda, change your opinion on the Razer phone. I don't know much about Project Lynda because I've been busy recently and I haven't been reading it, but so that's why I don't want to comment too much about it. But from what it sounds like, it's the idea that you can do Samsung DeX with your Razer phone, which I'll have to investigate more closely to find out if that's all it is or if there's something more to it. I don't know. But no, that would not change my opinion on the Razer phone, by the way. Whatever Project Lynda is, and then it sounds like it's related to having a laptop or desktop that's powered by your phone, that does not excuse the poorly designed Razer phone, which is not built for gamers. It's got the Razer logo on it. Will you go to San Francisco if you get invited to Apple keynotes? Probably not, because what I enjoy more is doing my live stream reactions to the keynotes themselves. Going to a keynote itself afterwards, after the keynote, sounds interesting because usually they have some hands-on areas where you get to experience all the products they're talking about for the first time before anyone else. That sounds really cool, but I'm not interested in the sitting in the audience and being silent for over an hour. Like, not that I can't do that. I just mean I think it's more interesting for you guys, for me to actually watch it live. That way I can provide commentary. If something's boring, I can call them out on it. If they introduce something really cool, I want you guys to see my reaction because that's more fun and that feels more personal. Whereas going there and just watching it, you guys wouldn't get to see my reaction. And I would have to be quiet and I wouldn't be able to say, this is boring, get to the good stuff. Like, that's what I enjoy more about keynotes. But what I might more likely do is have one of my, have my editor, Nathan, who's been editing a lot of the tech videos recently, probably have him go to the keynote. That way he can film with a camera, you know, the hands-on early access products after the keynote. That way the tech videos, we have the new footage because he would be there and he'd be filming it, but also you would get my live reaction, which I think is more interesting to you guys. I think Project Lynda is absolutely useless. Okay. You've literally made a video about Project Lynda made by Apple. The difference is when it's made by Apple, it means it's thought through and perfected. The difference is the phone powering the laptop thing doesn't exist. It was a patent Apple made, but it's not a true thing. Project Lynda sounds real. Doesn't sound like a concept, but it is CES, which is, we should call it the concept electronics show, more the consumer. You're really excited for my DJI Osmo review. That thing looks cool. I mean, I know some people had complaints with it, saying that like using the rear-facing camera with your phone is going to be rather difficult. I'm fine with that. But yeah, it's still, I'm very just happy that a product line that looks really, really cool, but the main reason people were not getting into it was because of the price point, is now less than half of what it used to be. Like, that's such a massive price drop, and yet somehow improving on the original, which is really, really cool. Thoughts on true wireless charging? We'll never truly have true wireless charging. I know there's across the room charging that they're working on. The FCC recently passed the regulation standards for true wireless charging, so charging without a pad, not Qi charging, but literally just across the air. So that's up and coming, but then after that, like, for wires and power to get to your house, you need lines of electricity going through your walls and to your house, so that's like, nothing's ever truly wireless. It's just removing the wires from the consumer's point of view as much as possible. To plug in the thing that charges your phones from afar, it probably still has a wire. So nothing's really truly wireless. That's why I'm like, let's just call Qi charging wireless charging. I know it's not truly wireless charging, but let's just call it wireless because there's nothing better than that. If we get to a point when there's charging across the air and you can buy that as a consumer, not a prototype, then we can start calling Qi chargers inductive charging. But as of right now, they're wireless. Let's just keep it simple. There was an AR laser tagging thing at CES demoed using an iPhone 10. It was cool. Yeah. Laser tag. That's new. Let's just say I don't want to fly all the way to the CES just to watch laser tag. You look glum, bro. Something up. It's been a lot of late nights. It's been a lot of work on Project 2X and trying to get content out to you guys. I'm not super energetic, but I'm trying to stay on top of the live stream schedule, and I'm sorry that they've been kind of all out of whack. So I'm just tired. That's all it is. But I still want to do this. Don't tell me to go to sleep or get some rest. It's fine. It's fine. 2018 Macs. Well, basically, iMac Pro was a 2018 Mac. I know they introduced it at Worldwide Developers Conference, but it was like 1% of its entire audiences. 1% of the entire people who own the iMac Pro actually got it in 2017. So it's basically a 2018 Mac. Don't play games at night. Okay. I wasn't. When are the live lives on Taylosive Talks? Basically, whenever there's something noteworthy to live stream, which is not often, especially right now. But I'm looking forward to 2X being finished so that we can get back into a regular schedule and I don't have to burn so much of my day and so much of my sleep on working on stuff. Should I change bank to one that has Apple Pay? I've never changed banks before, so it's actually... I don't know how complicated that is. My girlfriend is in the process of doing it right now. But yeah, I gotta say Apple Pay is really, really nice. And if my bank didn't allow Apple Pay, I would definitely consider switching. As long as it's not too complicated. I know switching banks can be a lot of work. So live life, the making of 2X. We're documenting 2X. There will be plenty for you guys to watch that we have recorded already, but you can't watch yet because it's related to 2X. So you'll see it. It'll be worth it. There's a lot of stuff we've documented. You think AirPods is getting updated in 2018? Other than the wireless charging case, not that we know of. I feel like we'd be hearing about it sooner. Actually, this morning we saw on Instagram someone, this is probably fake, but it was just cool to see again. Because we've had our iPhone 10, so we haven't had the, is this true or is this fake leaks online for a while. But on Instagram, this picture, someone posted a video of a iPhone SE with a glass back, which was interesting, and it was sent to me this morning, and I was looking at it, and I was like, this could very easily be fake, but I'm desperately hoping that it is real, because we're getting some fairly reliable sources saying that there's a wireless charging capable iPhone SE in the works. I really want to see that. What disappoints me about the leak we saw this morning is that it's still at a headphone jack, which I find kind of hypocritical that, you know, Apple removed that on larger phones, both last year and this year. Well, not this year technically. So technically 2016 and 2017 they've been doing that. And yet here's an even smaller phone and they're not ditching it. I'm like, come on. I'd rather have a taptic engine than a headphone jack. But either way, I'd still love to see a glass-backed iPhone SE, and it sounds like that's going to happen. So, almost 70,000 subs. Congrats. Yes, thank you. You guys have been growing the channel substantially. I've been trying my best to keep views high, but at the same time, for those who don't know, January is a very hard month for YouTubers. It means that our ad revenue is significantly lower than every other month of the year. So I get more views than usual. I get more views than average, and I make less than average, which is not fun. But either way, I'll keep trying. How can I support you directly? Patreon's a good way, as well as PayPal. You can PayPal my email address, which is in the About section. I just realized I don't have my phone on me, so I'll just have this out if I need it. I can read, yes, to answer your question, I can read PayPal donations on here. But yeah, that's the best way to support me. YouTube Super Chat works great if you want your comment read because it makes it very easy for me to read. But YouTube does take a piece of Super Chat donations. Let's see. What do you think will be the next big update to AirPods after the wireless charging case? I hope colors. I feel like Apple is smart enough to acknowledge that so many people want more colors of the AirPods, and it's ridiculous that there's not more of them, that there's only the one white color, which looks good, but there needs to be more. I feel like they should have a pair of AirPods for every color of iPhone they sell. It'd be really cool to see a space gray and blush gold version. PayPal takes like 5%. Well, I'd rather PayPal get some of the money than YouTube, honestly, because YouTube sucks at what they do. And PayPal doesn't take that much. You can transfer PayPal to your bank for like a couple cents. Then Patreon, otherwise. Fully spec'd 5K iMac or baseline iMac Pro? iMac Pro baseline I still think is faster, plus it's space gray, so like, come on. I still think is a better, not a better deal, but it's a better product than the fully spec'd 5K iMac. I think fully spec'd iMac might be a little bit more, but your core is still limited to a quad core, you know, the i7 series. Whereas this is on a whole different level with the 8-core Xeon chips. So, yeah, I would still take iMac Pro. Some stainless steel AirPods to match the iPhone X would be very nice. That's a cool idea. They'd be very glossy and probably have a lot of fingerprints on them, but that would be really cool. Favorite iPhone of all time still is iPhone X. That hasn't changed. Will you get the ceramic Apple Watch Series 4? I would like to. My current plan is to upgrade to the ceramic Series 4, whatever that is when it comes out, and then give this current one to my girlfriend. Then she can sell the Series 3 she has. So every time I buy an Apple Watch, we all play Apple Watch, what do you call it, musical chairs, where everyone switches. But yeah, that's my plan. It depends on how much money I have at the time. I'm anticipating that by that point in the year, we'll be closing in on 100,000 subscribers, which means my financial situation will probably be a bit better than now, hopefully, and I'll probably have the money to afford it. But yeah, I would like to. Of course, it could all crash and burn, and maybe we won't be able to afford it. Is the 7 Plus still worth buying? It's pretty cheap. I kind of recommend to people that when you're buying year-old products or 2-year-old products, that you don't buy them directly from Apple. You can find refurbished ones online. You can find used ones on a Facebook yard sale or eBay for pretty good deals. So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to pay full price from Apple for one. Unless you want a brand new one, I guess, which is fine. I mean, if you have an older one that you bought from someone else and the battery starts to slow down, it's only $29 to replace it. But anyway, we got some super chats here I need to address. Ryan donated, says, "You equals amazing. What would you like in a iPhone redesign?" Thank you very much for your donation. In a redesign, There's not much I would change other than removing the camera bump, more color options, and I think it's possible to embed the earpiece right in between the stainless steel body and the glass, like the Essential phone did, opposed to having it within the notch. Like, I understand you still need the notch, but you could probably shrink it if you put the earpiece up higher so that the notch is less intrusive. It'll still be there, but not as bad. Techno Eclipse says, you inspired me to start my own channel and website. Thank you, Techno, and I'm happy to hear that. I'm excited to see what you guys can create too. All of that super chat goes directly to the channel and helps me do what I do. Thank you. There will never be another redesign in a while. Well, it's not never. I'm sure there will be an iPhone redesign, but I doubt it will be as substantial as iPhone 7 to 10 was. That was such a large update that I think it'll be a long time before we see an update that drastic again. Doge. How do you pronounce them again? Doggy? That's what it looks like. Doji? I don't know. I'm probably making everyone cringe, but those slide phones, whatever the Doji or Doggy looks like, slide concept, is not my favorite. Every time someone makes one of those slide designs, I never am a huge fan. They never really take off. I think people just prefer, people overall with phones prefer a more rigid design. Any ideas on a completely new product from Apple? AR glasses in a car. That's all we got so far. Dashgi. Dogi. There's lots of different pronunciations. Wait for the new AirPods coming this 2018 or buy now? Well, it's early 2018, so we're supposed to be getting the wireless charging ones anytime now. So I'd say wait if you can, because we're not too far away. At the worst, I imagine they won't be ready till March. Worst case scenario. I'd be pretty shocked if they waited till after March and they still considered it an early 2018 release. But I'm guessing that AirPower and the wireless charging AirPods case will be available at the same time and might as well bunch in the HomePod. All of those will become available at the same time. What about a TV screen? I don't think Apple's going to do one, just because if they did, it would be crazy expensive and no one would buy it anyway. I probably wouldn't. Preston Gibbons donated. Thank you. No comment, but he donated, which I appreciate. Thank you. How much for mod? You go to Patreon to become a mod. It's a perk specifically on the Patreon page. Just go on Patreon and search Taylosive and you'll find me. The Pixel Portrait mode will come to other phones. Yes, I'm actually very proud of Google for doing this. Maybe enough people were calling them out on it. They moved the Pixel Portrait mode software onto the original Pixel and the Nexus phones, which was interesting because it's like, well, now there's less exclusivity to your Pixel 2, which means that in order to get those really cool portrait mode shots, you don't necessarily need to buy a Pixel 2 anymore. And they said it's coming to more Android phones, even non-Google built ones, which is really funny, which means that, if you wanted, maybe someday we'll see the Pixel 2 portrait mode built onto Samsung phones, in which case buying the Pixel 2 is going to be completely useless, because that was the one thing I think it was good at, was the portrait mode photography on Pixel 2. Really, really good photography. But your photography kind of sucks when your display looks so bad that you can't really enjoy any of the pictures. Link for Patreon, please. No, I respect you enough to think you're an intelligent enough person to go on patreon.com and search Taylosive. I don't think it's very hard. You can do that rather than have me stop the entire live stream. Okay, Apple fan super chatted. Love your videos. Thank you. I love your support, which is very useful. Since it's like software and Google's software is top notch, Google's services are top notch. I think that's what Google has down, is making free stuff that's useful. But hardware they do not have down. Does YouTube take a portion of super chats? Yes, they do. Did you watch iJustine's new vlog? No, I am not subscribed. How is Bernard doing? He's doing good. For those who don't know, Bernard is kind of the age-old name we have for the Zoom H6 microphone. And I still think about it sometimes. The more and more, it's like, wow, I think Bernard is the oldest piece of filming equipment I use on like a daily basis. I can't think of a piece of equipment older than him right now because he's been aging incredibly well. He's no complaints. Still works just fine. And I still use him constantly, whether I'm live streaming or recording podcasts. I'm always using this microphone, and I've had him for 5-6 years, maybe close to 7. It's been a long time. I can't remember. Do I have to have 1,000 subs to donate on Super Chat? Not to donate. Donating is easy. To receive Super Chats, I think you need 1,000 subs. But yeah, anyone can donate. You just need to set it up. It requires a browser. So if you're trying to donate with the YouTube mobile app, unless you're on Android, you're not going to see it. So you just have to find the live stream on Safari, and then you can do it. How's your truck doing? The truck is dead. No one has a truck anymore. Jumping from 3GS to 4 makes almost as little sense as 7 to 10. I guess, but yeah, don't upgrade to 4 if you have a 3GS. Get something better. I'm on Safari on a MacBook Pro, but don't see the money sign. No, it should be there unless you need to sign in or something. Oh my goodness, big super chat from Kevin. $20 says, I've watched all of your live streams, but have never actually seen one live. What product in the Apple lineup do you think is the weakest, or the one you like the least? Excited to see how Taylosive grows in 2018. Thank you very much, and because of you, that is a little bit more possible. Product lineup, I think, is the weakest. I've said before, is the Apple TV. It's more of a toy. There's no functional purpose it serves in my life. But like I said with my Apple TV console video, I think that could change. But at the same time, yeah, I think of all the product lines, I would, if I had to axe one, if I was required to kill a product line, iPod, but that's probably going to happen already, but also Apple TV. It's just very weak, not much going on there. It's cool that they have their own platform, they have their own app store and tvOS and everything. But yeah, that is probably the weakest line that there is. Okay, what's your favorite voice assistant on any smartphone? Oh, gee. Well, I like to say Siri just because she's on everything. But I honestly am thinking about making an update video on my Google speakers because they are just getting worse and worse and worse. I really liked them when we first got them. Not the original Home Mini, but as soon as I got some more Home Minis and then the Macs, they were really, really cool. But then all of them are starting to go off randomly now. When we don't even say Google, we'll just be watching some show, and just characters on the show will say something, and then the Google assistants all go off. And we're like, what are you doing? And now, when I want to talk to him and I want to call out to him and say a command and say, hello, Google, I have to say it twice now. They won't hear me when I do want them to hear me, and they will start listening when I don't want them to start listening. So you get what you paid for. I mean, that argument works on the Home Mini, but it's not really an excuse with the Home Max being the most expensive smart speaker you can buy. I feel like that one should not be having problems. It also had internet problems. All of the speakers started disconnecting from the Wi-Fi for some reason. And the Wi-Fi wasn't down. But for some reason, they're just disconnecting from the internet and everything. It's very annoying. And I tell them to do things and they can't do it. I wish you could say, turn off this light and turn on this light. You can't do that. It's like, sorry, I don't understand. But if I just go, hey, Google, like, they didn't go off. See, that, hey, Google. There it goes. That got it that time. But, yeah, there's been too many times. It's very annoying because I can't really recreate them. You can stop listening now. Thank you. Yeah. It's been very annoying because I can't really recreate when they hear me when they shouldn't. Because if, like, we say some word and then they start listening, we'll repeat that phrase again and they won't redo it. And also, every time I try to show someone that it doesn't hear me the first time, it doesn't. So I might need to make an update video on that. Sampa Gamer says, what was your first Apple product? I believe I used a lot of Apple products before this one, but if you'd like to know kind of my history with Apple products and where it all began and why I'm an Apple sheep, check out the most recent episode of the Talos of Tech podcast on Apple Podcasts, because we recently had my father on there, and we did a podcast together, and he talked about all the Apple computers he used growing up, which was really cool. Yes, I see the super chat. Relax, I'll be fine. But I believe the first one I bought and owned myself was an iPod Nano 4th generation, which I still don't know where it is to this day. I gave it to my sister, I think, and never got it back. So I'm not sure where it is now. But yeah, it'd be cool to see again. How's your iPod collection going? It's the same. I really only collect things that I own or find. I don't buy anything and add it to my collection. Like, I'm not seeking out, I'm not looking for specifically iPod, old retro iPods that I can buy. For the most part, all of the iPods I've collected are ones that I've just owned at some point in time. I'm glad you guys like the podcast. Lucas donated, says, a small new 2X hint, please. Otherwise, this is a waste of money, and I don't have much because I'm only 14. Lol, so please. But if not, oh well. Well, I wasn't baiting any 2X hints because I don't have a lot, but what can I say? Okay, so watch previous videos for hints. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but 2X will first be revealed. It'll be revealed in two ways. Once on a live stream on the Talos of Talks channel, and then immediately after the live stream via edited video that'll be up on the Tech channel. So that might help you understand what kind of project it is. If that's not enough, I can say that 2X development is moving along faster than we thought, and it should be able to be revealed in about a week. So sooner than February, sooner than we thought. Likely, we could do the reveal. Of course, this could change. Plans could get rearranged. But as of right now, we've been working very hard on it and trying to get it to move along faster, because I know you guys want to know what this is, and I'm probably hyping it up too much anyway. But I think the hype is worth it. But we should be able to have that live stream and that event reveal about 1 week from today, I think. I think we'll be ready. I'm glad you're excited. You did know that. Sorry. Okay, let me try to think of a different leak, different hint. Let's see. There are still hints on social media. There are that people have not called out. The big hint that I thought was an obvious hint that was on social media, no one found. No one commented or pointed it out. And I was like, really? I thought that was obvious. Also, there's some major hints on the Patreon page, but they're so major that I thought if I showed them to everyone would instantly know what it was. So I made them exclusive to a small number of people on the Patreon, the people who donate the most, because you guys have the most invested in Tailosive. You guys are supporting me the most. You guys get to know where the money is going. And I think the people who did see those super secret hints understand where it's going, and luckily have been very secretive about it. So thank you. Still on about 2X. Well, when you ask about it, yeah. We could talk about other things. Just super chat. It's easy. Can change the subject. Tailosive app. I don't think that's necessary to have an app for Tailosive, just because all of our content's on YouTube. So moving us to a new platform would just make an extra step for all of you guys. And we probably wouldn't get more views. And we probably would even make less money. So I like the recent thumbnails. Thank you. Actually, that's something I've been wanting to talk to you guys about. We've been kind of in the experimental phase we've been in the experimental phase with thumbnails recently. For a while we were doing like pictures, really high quality ones, and then we started doing the pictures of me in the thumbnail with the items I'm talking about with a blurred background. And I'm curious, maybe we should do a Twitter poll, but which thumbnails you guys prefer. If you prefer the originals with like the dark background and the blue text, or if you prefer pictures of the products we're talking about, or you prefer me in the thumbnail with a picture of the item. You also like the new thumbnails. Good. Good. I'm glad you like them. Are you jealous of Samsung's batteries? No, because they explode, so no. As of right now, I am the only person who works at Tailosive. It's just me. Where do you get the mug in the background? I have answered this before. So this one you can only get from Apple headquarters, and I did not even go to Apple headquarters. This was a gift. A friend of mine was at Apple HQ before it was a loop. But before that, and he knew I liked Apple, so he bought me this, which was very nice of him. And then this other, I don't buy mugs. I don't think I've ever bought a mug. But this Tesla mug was also a gift from my my sister and brother-in-law, who are married with a child now, and they gave this to me for Christmas, which I'm very happy for. They gave me my Tesla t-shirt, and right off camera, I have a Tesla flag, which is really cool, and now I have a Tesla mug, so I'm just waiting on them to send me an actual Tesla, and then I'll be set. Can't wait. Do you have your own router or the provided one? Because the provided one will cause your smart devices to disconnect quite often by an AC 2200 plus. Nope. Sorry, Justin, your theory is incorrect. I did not use the included Xfinity router in order to save money, and also because I wanted more. I did not want that Xfinity Wi-Fi public network that anyone could connect to. I didn't want that because we're a private business, and I don't want people piggybacking off our internet speeds. We got our own router. I don't know exactly the build of it because I hooked that up once, and it was fine. But we have our own modem and router, but it's specifically one that is built for gigabit Wi-Fi. Not that we have that, but it can do it. It has a 5G network and then a long-range 2G network. It's been a great router for us, and Xfinity, for the most part, has been fine with a few drops. But no, it is not the included router. I don't know why none of the other devices get booted from the Wi-Fi, but the Google speakers do, which is very annoying. Colgate just unveiled a smart electronic toothbrush with artificial intelligence, which uses Research Kit and Apple Store exclusive. Sometimes I feel like they just make things smart just so they can charge extra for things like a toothbrush. Really? Come on. What's your opinion on Logan Paul and what he vlogged? You can check out my thoughts on that. I did a giant video on it on Taylosive Talks. It's the most recent episode of Hello World. What third-party Apple Watch bands do you recommend? Okay, let's take a look. Really like this one. It matches most of my Apple Watches I've ever owned. Designed by Elobeth, stainless steel design, which is really cool. Kind of a Link bracelet imitator. And it's comfortable and it works pretty well. If you want more genuine leather, Benuo, B-E-N-U-O. I wear this one quite often. It's pretty nice. Very fashionable. I also will occasionally wear, what's this one called? Innovations, I-N-N-O-A-V-A-T-I-O-N-S. Kind of like a felt texture, which looks really nice and feels pretty comfortable. There you go. Those are my third-party recommendations for watch bands. Those are the ones I keep around. Apple Watch Hermès or Edition? Edition, easily. Hermès is just stainless steel with a weird band. Do you have a Milanese loop band? I do. A fan sent one to me. I did not buy it myself, but I actually don't care for them very much. It looks really great and it works nice, but I don't wear it myself. A friend of mine who's at the office pretty regularly, he wears it right now. But one issue I had with it was every time I did this, it pulled my hair out. It would lock onto my hair and then start pulling on it. Which is pretty annoying. And one time, the reason I stopped wearing it was because I put my arm around my girlfriend, and the band grabbed her onto her hair and pulled her hair back, and I felt so awful afterwards. So after that, I never wore that band again, and I was just like, okay, no more Milanese loop for me. But my other friend, he likes it a lot, so he still wears it. What other brand except Apple do you like? Tesla, easily. Amazon, I'm a big fan of. Not the hardware lineup, but just the service. I don't need Amazon to complicate everything with the grocery stores and the dots and the speakers and everything. But like Amazon as a service, I've had great experience with. Actually, I do have Amazon Cloud security cameras now all over the office, which is really cool. So they're constantly recording, so they can always see what's going on. I get push notifications when there's motion. They've been working really nice, and it comforts me to know that when I'm not at the office, I can look at it and know if anything goes wrong. Will they make sapphire crystal on aluminum sport watch? I don't think so. I think the idea is the more expensive premium build stainless steel one has the sapphire because you're paying extra. When you say that you are armed at your office, are you implying that you would shoot someone who came uninvited? We're saying that we would go there if we had to. We're saying don't break in, basically. But just because there were people who were trying to blackmail us and just posting our address over and over in the chat, and we were saying, like, okay, I wasn't under the impression that no one would ever figure out where we are, but we're just saying if you break in, you're not going to be welcomed, and you're not going to be treated with respect or politely asked to leave, because we do not publish our address out there, which means that if you found us, you did something kind of stalkerish, which is uncool. And when we say armed, it just means we can protect ourselves, and it's legal, and you're not going to have a good time. We'll leave it at that. I mean that if you show up uninvited, if you're just outside the office hoping to find us, you won't be respected either. I'm not saying we're going to shoot you on the spot. All I mean is if someone was outside our office and they just said, hey, I found you from YouTube, we'd be like, please leave. We're calling the cops now. This is trespassing. You're not welcome here. We don't want you here. And you'd probably see a very bad side of me. I'm not looking forward to that day. It'll probably happen. Someone's probably going to think it'll be funny to show up here and say hi to me, and then they're going to find out how mean I can be. So I can't be nice about that. I'm sorry. But anyway, we don't have to focus on that. Everyone stay in your own homes. Stay where you are. You can watch me from anywhere. I'm an internet producer. That means I make content that you guys can watch from anywhere with any device. You don't need to show up to see me. It will not be a pleasant experience. Yes, I cuss off camera. What do you think about Samsung's recent ads? And even they talked about it at CES about how connected and seamless their mobile devices are, and even with their home appliances. Well, I don't watch a lot of Samsung ads, but yeah, they do a very good job at trying to combine lots of different operating systems and getting them to work together without designing them. I think Apple has the better ecosystem because they design all of the different operating systems. But what I mean is Samsung does not make Windows 10, they do not make Android, and yet they try their best to merge them all and give them skins that can work across platform, which I applaud them to. It's not better than Apple, but it's admirable. It's better than anyone else is doing. I could do a fan meetup someday. Not anytime soon, just because it would take a whole lot of work on my part, and we probably would not have a huge number of people that would show up. So it would mean a lot of work from me that does not go to benefit a lot of people, which would prevent me from working on other stuff and working on my job now, which would slow down content for everyone else. So someday we might do a fan meetup, but it would not be at the office, first of all. So don't be like, oh, we can do a fan meetup there. It's like, no, that's not how that works. We'd probably meet in a public place at a park, or probably at like Apple or somewhere like that. I feel like you ignore lots of valid comments from your subscribers. I don't ignore them. I do read a lot of the comments, but the issue is, especially with live streams, is that we are constantly getting new people subscribing to the channel, with 4,000 to 5,000 new subs every month, which means that not all of you have been watching for a long time, which means that a lot of you will ask questions that I've answered numerous times. And that's not your fault. I'm not blaming you for that. I don't expect you to subscribe and then watch every single bit of content I've produced. That would be... that would definitely be too far. Please don't spam the bee emoji in the chat, but thank you for the donation. That's just stupid. It's just a lot of the times I get comments from people that I've answered many times before, and there's lots of people who have been watching Talos of Tech for a long, long time who are very, very sick of me answering the exact same question over and over again. So sometimes when I see questions that I've already answered, I won't answer them just because I'm trying to be new and interesting, but at the same time, not trying to ditch all the new subscribers from interesting comments. But sometimes there's a lot of questions in the comments that just don't really deserve to be answered. It's just like, they're not always that interesting. Like, what do you think of micro LED on an iPhone? That'd be great. It's not possible. There, like it's not interesting. I'm trying to stay current. I know it's difficult to find questions that are new and original, but I try my best. Here's my last prediction for 2X. It's definitely something physical like a computer or a desk. It will be installed in the office. I have guessed Evergreen and Photon correctly so far. Okay, so you're 2 for 2. Did you guess Newport correctly? That'd be cool. What if I met you at Walmart? Well, I'd have to go to Walmart, but yeah, which is pretty far away. Yeah, we got a lot of interesting comments. But yeah, I mean, like, would I get another desk for Project 2X, even though I just got amazing desk? Stand-up desk, which I've been loving this, by the way. If you remove all the buttons, how would you force restart? Hidden buttons? Maybe they would just trust that you don't need that. They have to build the software so well that they don't have to worry about it. Is the 2X hint as obvious as Newport hints? What were the Newport hints? I don't remember. Newport happened a lot faster. I think that's why there weren't as many hints. As it was like, by the way, Project Newport is in development, and then like 2 weeks later it was revealed. Whereas this has been like a month-long thing. How do you have 2 AirPods? I put one in the right ear and one in the left ear. No, I got the joke. Have you ever met a fan in real life? What would you do if you did? I believe I have. Well, first of all, I met my editor, Nathan, and I wouldn't really count him as a fan anymore. He's still a fan, but he's more than a fan now because he works with Tailosive. But he did watch Tailosive Tech videos like 6 months before he contacted me and said he wanted to start editing for me. So I met him when he had been editing for me already, but I would consider that kind of the first time I had a in real life interaction with someone who watched my videos and really liked them. And then after that, when I believe I mentioned that when I bought my iPhone 10 and I was in line at the Apple store at 4 in the morning, a guy who watched my videos was in line. An older guy, he was in his 40s, walked up to me right behind me in line. I was last in line, and then the next people who came up behind me were like, "You make YouTube videos, right?" I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh, I just started watching you. I subscribed a couple days ago." So I was like, "That's kind of cool." Yeah, this is from IKEA. It was $3.99. It was a $3.99 desk. I know it was expensive. It's the most expensive desk I've ever bought. The thing was, I had my iMac Pro on this white desk that's being used to hold the live stream. But I was like, okay, with the iMac Pro, and now I'm trying to use my MacBook Pro, and I have my iPad, I need a new desk. I need a good one. I need one that I'm not going to be competing with space for. If I want to add an extra monitor or 2 extra monitors to my iMac Pro, I want to have the space for that. And I've also wanted this stand-up desk for a long, long time. I've wanted to be able to stand and also sit if I need to. I really love these motorized ones. I've been looking at them for years, but I've just been cheap, and I've always been like, this desk is $60. I'll buy that one. But things kept falling off the desk. There's like no drawer space. Not that this one has drawer space, but there's desk space, so it doesn't need it. So I was just like, you know what? I haven't bought a nice desk in like a long, long time. So let's just get one. And like MKBHD said in his desk tour video, like he's had the same desk for like 6 years now. So I was like, let's just treat myself, get a real nice desk, and that'll be like my flagship desk for the next 5 years. We don't need a new one for a long time. What a coincidence to that video. It was a complete coincidence. I know it may not seem like it, but I bought this a day before Mark has uploaded that desk video, that his desk tour or whatever. I'm working on another one of those. I'll do one for myself. It'll be like the ultimate Apple Sheep desk tour. Let's see where you get those 2 mugs. See, this is the problem we have a lot. We get the same questions. Both of them were gifts. I'll leave it at that. You can get that one from Apple's headquarters. I don't know where you can get that one. That was a gift. I need to understand, with the upcoming iOS 11.3, increase the performance stability of the older phones, or you will have to change the battery. I don't think it... Well, I think every iOS update improves the performance stability. But I think what they said they're working on is more information about your battery, so you can go into the settings and it'll tell you if you're being down throttled via CPU in order for the longevity of the device. I believe that's what Apple said in their statement, is that they're working on iOS updates to be more transparent about battery performance. And yeah, and then it'll probably say in the software, you can take this to an Apple store and for $29 get the battery replaced. Oh, okay. You did not get Newport. There weren't many hints for Newport. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, you have an interesting 2x theory, but we'll see. Yeah, I don't think it means that you won't be down throttled with 11.3. It's going to tell you how much you're being down throttled and when you are. You have a car? Yeah. What happened to the Apple's Cars project? There is no info about it newly. It's because I don't think Apple really has a plan with it. I think Apple just has to experiment in every tech field there is, not necessarily because they're working on a product. They just need to know enough about it, and they probably have a huge R&D department that is just specifically designed for researching smart cars and self-driving cars and stuff like that. I don't think that necessarily means they're working on a car, but they could be investigating car software. So I don't know exactly what that means, but I don't think it means that there definitely is an Apple car happening. I don't think it's happening. When do you think a camera will replicate a human eye? In a way, it kind of already has. Cameras are just very, very, very different than the way a human eye works. Like human eyes are biological and cameras are electronic now, or film. They have sensors that you flash light on, whereas an eye is just like an organ versus a camera. They work very differently. I get that they create an image, but your eye is really not the most perfect, most like glorious camera out there. Think of the bokeh the human eye has. But what I mean is, like, they deteriorate over time. The age of your eye means that you can't see things very good far away, whereas cameras can zoom in and stuff like that. But I just mean that there are probably 360-degree cameras out there that shoot at 4K, and they'll probably look pretty good. But I don't think there's a way to measure the human eye's resolution because it's not pixels. The human eye's vision is not a bunch of dots lined up together. Like, it is literally one solid, like a camera has a shutter, a global shutter or a rolling shutter of just a refresh rate of 120 or 60 or 24 of how many times it takes a visual image, whereas the human eye is none of that. It is just a constant flow of light that is being transformed by your brain. There's not like pixels in it or anything. So it's very hard to say what camera your eyes are like, or how many megapixels your eyes has. Doesn't it depend what screen you are viewing the image to? Exactly. So the human eye, you can say it's 8K, you can say it's 4K. It kind of, I mean, the older you get, then the lower resolution you have. I don't know. It doesn't really make sense because when you get older, you can't see very well. Certain people need glasses. And it's because eyes are not cameras. They work completely differently. What do you think about Air Cafe and an Air Cafe store for $19 for 2 cafe with an excellent cafe beans? I don't know what that is. Did a video about the resolution of the eye. Well, I don't watch Vsauce, but the basic consensus is there's not really resolution of the eye. You can theorize it, but there's not really one. I read that if the human eye was a camera, it would be shot at 1,000 FPS. It'd be very difficult to tell because the human eye cannot really tell a difference between frame rates after 60 hertz. After 60 FPS, it's very difficult to notice a refresh rate. Which tier should I support you on Patreon to get those 2x reveals? 50. If you want both of them. You can get one of them for $20. But if you want both 2x reveals, it's 50. What do you think about a sound bar and an Apple TV in one? That'd be kind of cool. A phone that transforms into a laptop. There's enough people questioning me about Project Lynda that I'll probably talk about it. I don't know enough about it to make a comment on it yet, but I'll look it up after the stream. I'll read about it and then probably make a video because everyone keeps asking about it. What did you think of the 5C when it came out? I did not look at it and thought, man, I want to get that because I had a 5 at the time. And the 5C was basically the 5, just designed differently. But I thought it was cool. It was like the first time we were seeing an iPhone that came in so many different colors. And it was also the first time there was an iPhone that was specifically designed to be cheap. Every iPhone before the 5C was always the most expensive iPhone that there ever was, and then it just every year there was a new one that took that place with better specs. But the 5C was the first time it was like, we made a phone that is specifically designed to be affordable. And turns out it didn't sell as well as the one that was more expensive. You make a video tomorrow about Project Lynda. Yes, because so many people are asking about it. Could a supporter get a shout out? Yes. The people who donate for that perk can get that shout out. All you got to do, it's very easy to contact me on Patreon. That's why I encourage people, like if you want a more direct way to have contact with me, I encourage Patreon, because you can just go there and DM me. So if you do the $50 perk, you'd be like, here's my channel URL, here's how you can shout it out, and I'll do that for the right perk. Do you think Apple will make a portable speaker like the Google Home Mini? That is not a portable speaker, but it is smaller. I would like Apple to make a speaker that you could take with you, but I guess that's the iPhone. But that's a little different. When are you going to do a new video on the iPad Pro 2018? Soon. I'm trying to work with a fan on making more concept art pictures of it for cutaway shots, but he's having a hard time with it, so that might not happen. So I might just do a video with screenshots instead of a video performance, but that'd be cool. I'm not on Snapchat. Don't look for me on Snapchat. No one's there. Or they're impersonating me. There's people impersonating me on every social media that I'm not on, so. There's no iOS 12 rumors, but there are wish lists, which I have made. When do you think the iPad Pro 2018 will come out? I'm thinking about getting last year's one. I think June of this year, so we're coming up pretty close on it. Apple Space Agency. Get verified. Yeah, to get a verified on YouTube, you need 100,000 subscribers, which I do not have. I use Final Cut Pro to edit. I will occasionally use, like for intros and outros and stuff, I'll use Adobe After Effects, and other times I will use Adobe Premiere, depending on the project I'm editing. But for the most part, using Final Cut. I wish for iOS 12 gets a new volume redesign. They've really needed that. In fact, in one of the early betas for iOS 11, you could change the volume and there just would not be a visual indicator. I actually preferred that. Because it's like, well, if I'm listening to audio and I turn down the volume, I'll notice that it's quieter, and then I can put it at that. If nothing's playing, why do I need to change the volume? Like, I don't get it. But they could easily make it like what Snapchat does and put the, or what Instagram does, and puts the volume at the top and it goes down and up and it doesn't intrude on the content. Or what YouTube does. It's very easy. Best Apple product of all time, and an Apple product which you have a special story/memory with. iPhone 10, which is this channel. Will you ever come to Brazil? If yes, be careful to not be stolen. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Do you think Apple will discontinue the MacBook when the iPad is good enough? Eventually they'll discontinue it. I just don't think that'll be soon. It'll be decades before then. I think that we'll see the MacBook lineup kind of turn into what the iMac lineup has become, is that there's not a lot of them, but the ones that there are of, they're very expensive and they're very premium. Like, you get a very well-built MacBook with very powerful specs, but I could easily see, I'm already starting to see the process of iPads kind of taking the place of laptops, and they're getting stronger. iPads are getting more and more speed and getting more and more software, and over the course of the next decade, I could imagine that iPads will... Is it raining? It sounds like it's raining. It sounds like iPads are going to replace a lot of what people need laptops for, which means that there will be like the MacBook Pro and not much else. There will be like the Pro models for the people who absolutely need those specs, but then for basically any consumer tech, you'll have an iPad, and that'll be enough. If iPad gets like a hybrid of macOS, besides that, I can't really think that. Yeah, I think there will always be a place for the Mac, for as long as you can imagine. There will probably be some form of macOS device present. Thoughts on Everything Apple Pros channel? I watch all his stuff. I've heard he doesn't say nice things about me, but I don't care because he makes interesting stuff, so I still watch him. But yeah, I think he does a really good job at collecting all of the changes between iOS updates. No matter how minor they are, he will find all of them and put them in a video. I don't see the point in drop tests. No, I don't see myself doing a lot of drop tests. The reason is because whether or not your phone breaks after dropping 3 feet, you still shouldn't drop it. I don't care how durable it is. I don't care about how durable it is with a case on. It's just don't drop your phone. And I don't get scratch tests either, where they have the big durability needles. There's like 9 different scraping things, and they scrape a phone. It's like, who's doing that? No matter if it's Sapphire, Ion X Glass, Gorilla Glass 5, or Gorilla Glass 3, just don't put sharp objects against your phone. I come from the generation that says, not generation, but I'm just the kind of guy who says, if you pay a lot for a device, you should treat it nicely. It doesn't matter how durable it is, like whether it survives a 6 or a 9 on the scratch test. You just shouldn't be mean to your phones. Don't drop them. Pixel 2? Sure. If only the back wasn't $550 or around that price without Apple Care. No matter how much the glass is, be nice to it. I've been babying my iPhone 10, yeah, because it's expensive, but also I baby all the phones I have. Studio tour video coming up? Yeah, you could say that, sure. Where has everything Apple Pro talked about you? I've never seen it. I didn't hear about it, but I had, at the same time, a bunch of people comment on one of my videos that he called me the B word on Snapchat or something. So I don't know if that was real or not, or if people were just making that up, but a lot of people said it and told me about it at the same time. So I'm not on Snapchat, so I never saw it, but or no one ever sent it to me. But either way, I don't care what he says about me. I know he doesn't want to collab. A bunch of my fans commented on his videos to collab with me, and he said no. He didn't officially say no. He just deleted their comments, which I took as the message of, okay, he's not interested. I don't hold anything against him. We don't want to force collaborations between YouTubers. So I'm confused why he wouldn't want to. Just because like he's doing Apple stuff, I'm doing Apple stuff. I don't know what I do that he doesn't like. But regardless, he makes quality content. I'm subscribed. No matter what he says about me, I'll keep watching his videos. He called you a beautiful butterfly. Yeah. Yes, that's the B word. Oh, sorry. I said beautiful butterfly. We're going to get demonetized. No. Don't boycott everything Apple Pro. No. Don't spam him. Guys, be respectful. The reason he probably doesn't want to collab is because you guys spammed him. Don't boycott him. I'm not going to boycott him. I'm going to keep watching everything he makes. I like his stuff. He makes good stuff. No, Apple, I don't think, is working on VR stuff. VR is kind of a dead thought. I don't know what HomePod Hi-Fi is, so I don't know. That's why I haven't asked about it. When you guys ask questions about things I don't know about, I won't answer them. So I see the iPod Hi-Fi question. I don't know what it is. So. No, don't delete his channel. I do not have a job. I do not have a job besides YouTube. This is my full-time thing. I've been doing this full-time since June. I quit my job before. I worked on a mandarin ranch for about a year before I quit. MKBHD seems to be a nicer guy. They are both very, very nice guys. Both everything Apple Pro and Marquez are extremely nice guys. Will the next iPhone be called the iPhone 11, or will they skip a number again? I think they're not going to have numbers this year. I think they'll just 2018. Yeah, Air Power, I'm guessing to be around 200 to 250. His content is based on the product. Collabing puts emphasis on the YouTubers. That's true. It's just, if you're not interested in collaborating with another YouTuber, that's fine. You don't have to explain yourself. Just say I don't want to, and that's it. I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want a much smaller YouTuber than me saying, hey, I make Apple videos too. We have to collaborate. We need to collaborate now. We have to do a collaboration video, and then have all of his fans come to my channel and say, collaborate with him, collaborate with him, collaborate with him. It's like, do I have a say in the matter? What if I don't want to? Like, I would not hold it against him for not wanting to collaborate. I don't, be respectful to him. Don't go and spam on his videos. That's not nice. Just, we want to be polite and respectful. I have an iPhone 7. Should I get the iPhone 10 and wait 2 years, or get the 2018 iPhone and then wait 2 years to get a new one? Get the 10. You'll enjoy it. That's a noticeable improvement. Well, we've come up on our hour here, guys, so I need to get to work on both Project 2X and other things, chores I got to get to today. But thank you for all your comments and all of your donations. They help more than you realize. All my birds are coming out backwards today. So I'm working on tomorrow's video, and I appreciate all of the support you guys have done today. So can't wait to see you again. There should be another live stream Thursday at 11:30. So this is your Apple Sheep here, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.